So how do you make your own Sur-Ron X lighting rig? That's coming right up. Hey everyone, my name is Rick Cordero. Welcome to RunPlayBack, where we help you with video and tech tips to lead a more efficient and affordable lifestyle. Let's be creative and save money at the same time. Today we're going to show you how to make your own DIY lighting rig for the Sur-Ron X. We'll talk about the parts we used, the equipment you'll need, and we'll even share a wiring diagram to make things easier. So let's get to it. So custom lighting can get really complex, but we'll try to keep it as simple as possible. However, you'll still need some basic electrical knowledge and tools before attempting this mod. Things like a multimeter, soldering iron, wire stripper, crimp connectors, heat shrink, a heat gun, and cloth tape are some of the main tools we used for this rig.
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
So this will be the signal switch. This is the low beam, high beam, but we're actually going to connect it to the Eco and Sport mode buttons. And then this will be the horn. So we'll have to look up the wiring diagram for the switch so we can connect it to the right wires on the Sur-Ron. So the next item that we have here is the GritShift headlight kill switch. So on the Sur-Ron, the headlight automatically turns on when you turn on the ignition, and there's no way to actually turn off the headlight. So this switch is actually plug and play. So the next item that we have are these fork indicator lights. These have a white running light and then an amber signal light. These we're going to wrap around the fork to have a really low profile. We're not going to do the standard indicators that stick out. This is the flasher relay for the signals. Next, we have the taillight. So this taillight will actually fit under the seat of the Sur-Ron. We're gonna have to fabricate some kind of bracket. These don't line up with the holes on the existing taillight. And it also has this license plate holder. And this is our LED strip brake light that we're gonna mount underneath the taillight. Here's our side lights. So these are side indicator lights. So these are white running lights and then amber on the signal. And what's cool about these is it's sequential. So the light kind of moves along the strip, which looks pretty cool at night. So this is an item we found on eBay. This is the display relocator. So since we're changing the switch, we have to relocate the display. So this allows us to put it anywhere on the handlebars. So another GritShift item. And here's our new bar headlight for the Sur-Ron. So the stock Sur-Ron headlight is actually really bright, but I wanted something that looked more like a light bar. And GritShift makes a lot of cool stuff for the Sur-Ron and has availability on Amazon. So I said, why not? Ordered it on Friday and it came on Sunday. Super quick. This should hook up to our kill switch. So it hooks up to our kill switch. Step 1. First, we disconnected the battery and turned off the circuit breaker for safety. Next, we removed the Sur-Ron stock switch and relocated the display with a relocator bracket. The Sur-Ron stock switch has 4 wires. White is sport mode, green is eco mode, black is the horn signal, and red is the 12-volt horn. Step 2. Next, we cut the stock switch off and rewired it with our new signal switch. The white sport mode wire connects to the dark blue high beam wire. The green eco mode wire connects to the white low beam wire. The black horn signal wire connects to the dark green horn signal wire. And the red 12-volt horn wire connects to the light green 12-volt horn wire. Step 3. Next, we connected the new signal switch 12-volt signals gray wire to the L connection of the flasher relay. We then added a 20-gauge positive wire to the B connection of the flasher relay. We'll get back to this in a moment. Step 4. Next, we installed the GritShift headlight along with the GritShift headlight kill switch. Then we tapped into the green 12-volt wire on the GritShift headlight kill switch and connected it to the new signal switch blue-white 12-volt headlight wire. This ensures that the 12-volt power is constantly supplied to the Sport and Eco mode buttons and does not shut off with the lights.
Vincent!
Step 5. Next, we tapped into the GritShift headlight green 12-volt wire. This ensures that the headlights and signals will turn off with the kill switch. Here we combine the 20-gauge positive wire from the B connection of the flasher relay, the fork LED strips blue 12-volt positive wires, and the side LED strips red 12-volt positive wires. Then we tapped into the GritShift headlight black negative wire. Here we combined the fork LED strips black negative wires and the side LED strips black negative wires. When we say combine, it means that we stripped all the wires, braided them with pliers, soldered them together, and added heat shrink and cloth tape to secure the connections. This is super important to avoid short circuits.
English, Doc.
Here. Let me illustrate.
Step 6. Next, we combined all the left signal wires. We combined the new signal switch orange left signal wire, the left fork LED strip brown wire, the left side LED strip yellow wire, and the left circular taillight blue wire together. Then we combined the new signal switch light blue right signal wire, the right fork LED strip brown wire, the right side LED strip yellow wire, and the right circular taillight orange wire together. For the circular taillight signal wires, we spliced 20-gauge extension wires that were long enough to reach the back of the taillight.
Sorry I'm late. It's just like this new schedule's totally confusing.
Step 7. For the brake lights, we wanted only the left brake lever to control the brake light, while the right brake lever would only control regen. So basically, we left the right brake sensor wires alone. First, we disconnected the left brake sensor from its connector. Then we cut the connector on the brake side. Next, we spliced 20-gauge extension wires from the Sur-Ron stock brake sensor green 12-volt wire and the Sur-Ron stock brake sensor red brake light wire that were long enough to reach the back of the taillight. We ran these wires through the frame to hide them. Just follow the stock taillight wires on the frame and use thin 20-gauge wire, and everything should fit securely.
Help me understand.
Oh, no, not the top.
Step 8. For the circular taillight, we used brackets to mount it to the stock taillight mount. We also used the existing wire connections from the stock taillight. Use a multimeter to find the positive and negative connections. Mark the positive connector with a Sharpie or piece of tape so you remember the polarity. We also added a second LED strip brake light underneath for extra brightness. Step 9. For the taillight connections, we used crimp connectors to make things easier to disconnect. You can also just solder them together if that's easier for you. First, we connected the circular taillight yellow 12-volt running light wire, the Sur-Ron stock brake sensor green 12-volt wire, and the LED strip brake light yellow 12-volt running light wire to the positive connection on the rear of the Sur-Ron. Next, we connected the circular taillight black negative wire and the LED strip brake light black negative wire to the negative connection on the rear of the Sur-Ron. Step 10. Finally, we connected the Sur-Ron stock brake sensor red brake light wire to the circular taillight red brake light wire and the LED strip brake light red brake light wire. This should now enable the left brake lever to activate the brake lights while also enabling day running brake lights. We chose to not connect the tail running lights to the kill switch, as having them always on makes us more noticeable to vehicles behind us.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
So this is how I organized all of the wires and the harnesses and things like that. I have the flasher relay and then the side LED strips, circuit boxes taped together and then covered with actually a cloth mask and then cloth tape. These are secured over here with some zip ties, and then over here are all my connections that are soldered, covered with a cloth mask and then cloth tape, as well as some zip ties. And then I use this stock number plate from the Sur-Ron to cover it up, and I just zip tie this to the fork like so. So that's how you clean everything up. That's how you can mount everything right here in the front, and then just cover it up like that. If we come back around to this side, you'll see that I have more of the harnesses that are wrapped with this cloth mask and cloth tape. You know, I could have made it a little bit longer and stuffed it down here, but it was getting a little bit tight, so I chose to keep it out here and just have it wrapped up. My left brake sensor is disconnected, and so I have a piece of cloth tape covering that connector, and these are the extension wires that I ran all the way to the back. If you look on this side, this is where I have the brake sensor and the left and right signals running through the frame. All you need is an Allen key, unscrew those bolts, and then run the wires through the frame. This piece actually comes off so you can run it underneath it. So you'll see right there, it comes out under the seat, all the wires, all the way to the rear of the light. Now you'll notice all the taillight wires are connected with crimp connectors, and then I have some cloth tape reinforcing it, as well as some zip ties. And the zip ties are wrapped around these brackets that I added. These brackets are just simple L brackets, steel L brackets you could get in the hardware store. I have the new switch mounted over here right next to the grip, flush right next to it. The horn button is actually located in a better place now. The stock switch was like underneath over here. Right next to it is the kill switch, and then the stock display is relocated towards the center. And once again, everything is connected over here. So now that everything is cleaned up, let's put the battery back and then see if it works. Okay, now that everything's cleaned up, let's turn the bike on, kill switch on. All the lights work. All right, we'll test the left signal. That works. Let's check the rear. Now we'll try the right signal. Right signal works. Now we'll try out the brakes. So the brakes work. There you go. The horn.
You have done that yourself.
So that's how to make your own DIY lighting rig for the Sur-Ron X. It may seem like a lot of information to wrap your head around at first glance, but it's actually quite easy once you get started. If you have any questions or suggestions for this lighting rig, leave them in the comments below. If you want to dive into more video and tech tips, click the links on the side, and remember to like and subscribe so we can help you find tech deals that fit your lifestyle. We'll see you guys in the next video.